Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Pinky Mouse Cakes, Cookies, and Candy. We're sisters in the kitchen, and I'm Linda.
And I'm Mary.
And we are going to make some more muffins today. Y'all please don't lose me on this because I've got a couple things today, or maybe one or two things I'm doing that I haven't done. So I've got the oven on, I think it's on 385. Sometimes I cook muffins on 375, sometimes on 400, but we're doing these on I believe it's 385. I'll check in a second. So we're going to get started and make this batter, and we'll be announcing the birthday winner for June a little bit later, but we're going to get this in the oven, the batter. So I'm going to start with 6 tablespoons of softened butter, and this is salted. I do keep unsalted butter, but I don't use it very often. Okay.
This is 2 cups of all-purpose flour, Linda?
Yes.
2 cups of all-purpose flour and a fourth. So 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour.
Plus
What
a
is this?
tablespoon.
Is this a tablespoon?
Yes.
Okay. And plus a tablespoon of all-purpose flour. 2 1/4 plus a tablespoon. Okay.
And for our members, I added 2 things on this, the tablespoonful of flour and some lemon juice. And the reason I did that is because I added the flour to counteract the liquid in the lemon juice.
Okay. And this is going to be 2 teaspoons of baking powder.
I got 2/3 cup of Imperial sugar, granulated sugar. We are sponsored by Imperial, which is extra fine.
Is this baking soda?
Yes.
And 2 teaspoons of baking soda.
I know these mixers are loud, and you know when you're cooking and using a mixer, well, you got some noise, but hopefully y'all will bear with us on that.
Okay, and now I'm going to put a 1/2 teaspoon of salt.
Aren't those yard eggs pretty?
They are. Michelle, that was at the our 4th of July yesterday, she brought me the 18 fresh
Oh,
egg,
nice.
18 eggs.
Just
fresh.
2 eggs. And I'm going to go ahead and put in my vanilla. And I'm going to put a teaspoon of vanilla.
This was a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg.
And that's different, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
To put in blueberry muffins.
Making it kind of a spice, isn't it?
Yeah, gives it just a little bit of different flavor.
And then you whisk it together to get it all incorporated.
And this is freshly squeezed lemon juice.
Now, what is this?
That's
That goes with your berries?
Yes,
Okay.
we're going to mix
Okay.
that in a minute. And I'm going to do a teaspoon of fresh lemon juice in this. And I've got a little more than a teaspoon.
That's what I did the other day when I was putting my lemon juice in.
Okay, this is a cup of buttermilk. Now, when you're looking for buttermilk in the store, Mary, I don't know if you've ever noticed this or not. I'm sure you have because you don't get nothing past my sister. She knows what I'm fixing to say. You want whole buttermilk. You do not want low-fat buttermilk. And most of the time when you're cooking and it asks for buttermilk, make sure that it either says whole or look at the fat, and the fat should be 8 grams. And if it's not, then you're getting the low fat, which you really want the full fat. Okay, so we're going to alternate between the flour and the buttermilk. Thank you. Smells so good, don't it?
It does.
I smell that nutmeg.
Yeah,
That's what I
do.
smell.
Yeah.
That's something I usually use around the holidays. And when I saw this recipe, I thought, well, you know, that's different. Now, did I get a The actual
No.
out, to get the rest of that out. You need all of that liquid,
Yeah.
so I want to make sure I got that in there.
Put this out.
Now this is a thick batter, and when I'm making muffins, I like for my, can you hand me that spatula please, Mary, and I'll get this off of my beaters, thank you. I like for, when I'm making muffins, I like for the batter to be thick.
Yeah.
And I don't know if y'all have ever noticed this or not, but a thin batter like cake batter, and I probably have said this before, if you're doing a muffin and it's thin, I mean a cupcake and it's thin batter like cake batter, you cannot fill the cups as high as you can when it's thick. And I really like the thick batter. So we're going to put 1.5 cups of blueberries. Did I move my cup?
I did. I moved it.
And these are fresh blueberries. I got these at Panola Orchard. And you don't want your blueberries to sink. Let's see, I need 1.5 cups.
Okay.
That's okay.
I'll get the hay.
I can guess it now. So we want, I don't care if there's a few extra ones in there. That ain't gonna hurt nobody.
Those are pretty. Is that the ones you got at
Yeah,
Panola, you
those are
said?
the ones I got at Panola. I put
They're
up
bigger
the rest
than
of
the
them.
ones I bought
They
the
are.
other day
They
at
are.
Kroger's.
They're really nice.
Yeah.
I put up, I think, like 9 bags
Is
out
that
of the
right?
ones that I bought. So this is equal parts of all-purpose flour and imperial granulated sugar. It's 2 tablespoons of each, and you just want to toss your blueberries in this. Now, I would have normally done this ahead of time, but I wanted to do this on air, so I'm just going to do this.
And tell them why did you do that?
Keeps them from sinking to the bottom of your muffin. And we're just going to fold these in. You don't want to stir them because you want your blueberries to stay together. You don't want them to get mushy. I don't necessarily want this extra flour, so I'm going to try to just get them in here like this. Now this recipe, I made a trial batch the other day because I had not made this particular recipe, and it made 14 muffins. Now today, watch it make 13 or 15, but the other day when I made them, it made 14. So you can just toss that. And then I'm going to just fold these in. And you can see this is a really nice thick batter.
It's really blurry, and I'm trying to see. Now, it cleared up a little when I moved it back.
Okay.
Y'all, it seems like every time we film, there's something. Either somebody says they can't see what I'm doing or something, but you know, it's sometimes it gets under your skin, and sometimes you just roll with the punches.
That's right.
Just have to.
So I have got a little bit of just plain vegetable oil that I oiled my jumbo cookie scoop with, and thank you, Mary, for getting those over here. And I've staggered my muffin cups so they're not going to be next to each other. And I'm going to just do one big scoop, and it's not going to be a level scoop. It's going to be a pretty big scoop in each one of them.
You using the extra large?
This is the our jumbo Pepper Chef cookie scoop or scoop, whatever it is. And I may put a few more in it if I get more than what I'm thinking I'm going to get. But this is how we're going to start off.
I love blueberry muffins, and Braden does too. Braden loves blueberry muffins.
Their blueberries are very healthy for you. They have a natural sweetness. They got a lot of antioxidants in it. Mike eats them with oatmeal sometimes in the morning. And I've got that other pan over there too, Mary. That
I'll get
muffin
it.
pan.
Wash my hands after I coughed.
And we may get 15 out of this one. Maybe I didn't put quite as much in these as I did the
You want me to go ahead? Are you gonna put them all in the oven at the same time?
Yes, I
Okay.
can get all these in the
Do
oven.
you need another muffin? cup, or-
Yeah, where did I put those at? I think they may be over there
Okay.
somewhere. They should be, if they're over there, they're out somewhere, Mary.
Where they're not out.
Okay, all right, let me see if I can find
Oh,
them.
here's one.
What? Here they are, where I put them. They're really hard. These,
Yes, they
the
are.
worst thing I hate about these is they're hard to get apart.
Because of the foil, I guess.
Now this one has got the handles on it, so it has to go on the top shelf, and then I'll
Okay.
put these others on the bottom shelf.
I think this is two.
It probably is. It takes me a while to get them apart.
Okay.
Thank you. I didn't mean to give you something hard to do.
That's
I think I may need one more, Mary.
Okay. You were in the middle of me, and
It don't matter because they're not going to be totally staggered, but
yeah, that made a lot of them, didn't it?
yep, it sure did. So it did make 15.
Aren't they pretty?
Yeah, that one's going to have a little bit more in it.
Maybe that one.
Put some in here. I hate it when they're not all the same size, but sometimes that's just the way it turns out.
That's all right.
I like them when they're variety.
Mike, he picked out the smallest one,
Yeah.
you know, because he's doing really good
Yeah.
with his weight.
Yeah, that's good.
I
It
think
probably makes it feel better too, doesn't
yeah,
it?
it does make him feel better. It makes him feel a lot better. And I'm not on anybody's case about weight, because you have the one thing that I know about losing weight. You're the one that has to
You
make
have
up
to
your
have your
mind.
own mind. Yeah,
It
your
don't
mind
make no
made
difference
up.
what anybody says
Yeah.
to you
All
or
right.
how much weight anybody else has lost. Until you get ready, you
Mhm.
won't do it. So we're gonna pop these in the oven.
Okay, I'll let you go ahead and go.
Okay.
Now, is that all you're going to do? Is just put them in the oven and come
then
back
we're
over
gonna
here?
We're gonna come over.
Oh, we
here.
are going. Okay, then I'll just move the camera.
And I'm going to set the timer for 18 minutes. That's what I'm setting the timer
Okay.
for. And you do not want to overbake them. Okay, I'm going to give my
Alright,
hands
so-
a quick wash. And what we're going to do now is we're going to make something.
You going to make a topping to go on them?
I've already got some buttercream made, but
Okay.
I don't think, now I may be wrong, but I don't think I've ever made any whipped ganache.
Okay.
I don't think I have. So I'll show you my buttercream. Turn my burner on so my boiler can get hot. This is just a very small batch of buttercream, probably the smallest batch I ever made in my life. It's just a small batch, and it's 2 sticks of salted butter, a little bit of flaked sea salt. You smell that lemon?
Yeah, yeah.
About a teaspoon of lemon extract, and about a teaspoon of, I use the clear vanilla, which is Watkins. It's a blend. It's not extract, but it is good. And probably about 3 cups of powdered sugar, imperial powdered sugar. And I just whipped that up with our Pepper Chef mixer. So I'm going to leave that sitting there. Now with the ganache, with the chocolate ganache, whipped ganache, you have to do this in stages. And you know, Mary and I always say you can't rush something when you're baking.
That's where I have my problem. I like to rush it. I like to get it done.
And some people or some recipes will tell you to use Ghirardelli or one of the better chocolates. This is Nestle's, and I use this because I had some in the freezer. So instead of going and buying some Ghirardelli, I use what I have. You do not want to take these straight out of the freezer. You need to let them sit out at room temperature. And if you don't have them at room temperature, stick them in the microwave for like 30 seconds at a time. Not until they melt, but until they get the chill off of them. So this is the package, and it is 12 ounces, and this is 2 cups of white chocolate chips. So these have been sitting out here, and they're at room temperature, and I did use the microwave trick on them. My boiler is hot, and I have 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. It has to be heavy. There is a difference between whipping cream and heavy. This is heavy whipping cream. And I'm going to pour this in my boiler. And again, this is at room temperature. I've had this sitting out at room temperature.
I've gone through a lot of whipping cream, heavy whipping cream lately.
Yeah, I picked up another one the other day because, you know,
Sometimes you can't find it.
you can't, especially
That's why I bought
after,
2 bottles the
after
other day.
electricity was on
Yeah.
for days. Everybody was restocking, and I mean, I went to several stores and never did find it.
Walmart
Finally had
was
to-
out.
yeah.
The other day, Walmart was out. I had to go to Kroger's and get it because they didn't have any. Well, the Brookshire's and they didn't have any.
So
They
we're
had
going
restocked
to
by the time I went back.
have
through
they
there.
Was he?
Brookshire's.
Yeah.
That's where I got.
Oh, that's right. I had you stop by and pick up some from Brookshire's.
The good thing about it, most of the time you can get a good date on heavy whipping cream. So it's not like you got to use it in 7 or 10 days.
Right.
I especially like Kroger's brand because they usually have a couple of months date
Yeah,
on there.
yeah, that I bought the other day, September.
And I like that.
Yeah.
And it's not a lot of difference in the price, but it is a little cheaper than the name brands.
Yeah,
But if you can't find it, get what you can find.
yeah.
So we're going to heat this, and it probably is not going to take long to heat. You do not want to boil it. You want to heat it till it's smoking, and till it's got like a little skim over the top of it. So am I explaining it good, Mary?
Yeah. The reason I was smiling like that is because I looked at a recipe the other day. I guess it's maybe the same one.
Was
you
it
looked
a
at.
whip ganache?
Yeah, it was. And I was just thinking about it. It's so strange how we don't even talk like. I mean, you know, we don't tell what's on our mind all the time. But she'll bring up things sometimes on camera. I think that's exactly what I've been doing, you know, and vice versa.
Yeah,
we just
our
think
minds-
a lot,
our minds
recipes
really
and everything.
Run along the same
We
line.
have to literally tell each other what we're cooking because when we first started, we'd both be planning on cooking the same thing, and so we had to start kind of explaining to each other what we're going to cook, so we won't be putting it on our calendar to make
Right.
the same thing.
Mary, would you mind to hand me a tablespoon out of that drawer, please? Just not a measure,
okay.
just a spoon. Thank you. This is big enough to do this in. If you wanted to do it in a bigger one, you can. You're going to cool this in the refrigerator. You should really cool it for 4 hours before you whip it. So you got to do this ahead of time. You can leave it in there all night, but it needs to be completely cool before you whip it with a mixer, with electric mixer. And I would advise a stand mixer if you have one, because it's going to whip it nicer than standing there and hold it, because you do have to do it for several minutes. So I'm getting almost. You can see there's some smoke coming up. It's not quite to the point I want it. This particular bowl here has a lid on it. If you don't have a bowl with a lid, you can just put a piece of foil over it after you pour this over it. And we're going to try to mix it real quick with a spoon to try to get this dissolved. If you pour the milk over it and you stir it with a spoon and it's got lumps in it, just get your mixer out and whip it. To get the lumps out.
Yeah.
I did earlier this morning.
Yeah.
You're not whipping it like the finished product, but you're getting the chocolate smooth in it. So, and I've already got some in the refrigerator that I've actually already whipped. So, you know, we've had 3 deaths here in Jefferson, in our little town.
That's terrible.
2 from the accident, and I did want to mention this yesterday because it was a day of celebration, but I had the service appointment in Marshall for my car, and we are probably 5 minutes from 59.
Not far.
Not even 2 miles from 59, which for those of you who aren't familiar with 59 is a mostly 4-lane highway that runs from the Texas border to the Canadian border. It's a major highway, and it is a very busy highway.
Bad intersection.
Well, right here at where we get on 59 in, our farm to market road is 2208, and off of our little private road. I don't want to get this boiling. Okay, we're right before boiling. You can see it's almost like it's skimmed over. So I'm going to turn this off and pour this in here. Pour it over my stuff.
That chocolate that I put on those coconut bars the other day, I did it that way.
Did you?
I don't know if I did it on camera or not, I don't remember.
And I'm going to just put this lid on there. Put this in the, sorry to say garbage, but I think I want this boiler, so I'll put it in garbage. So I left a little early to go, and as I was approaching the light, and this light has been there for probably 3 or 4 years, maybe. I may have lost count, but
It was a lot of people killed there before they put the light, and that was
because
supposed to help.
It's a major
help that.
intersection, and it took a long time for people to get used to the light.
Right.
But because this is such a well-traveled highway, it's a truck route, and there's so many 18-wheelers. And for those of you who are not familiar with demographics in East Texas, we are a logging area. And they cut logs. We have lots of trees, so there's lots of log trucks.
Yes.
On 2208, our road that we take to Longview, we call it the back way. You hardly ever get on it that you don't pass a few log trucks. And
I'm behind one many a time on my way here.
It makes me very nervous.
Yeah.
JC was
That's
a
what he
logger for
done.
years. Our cousin that passed away a year or so ago. And a lot of people that we know in East Texas were loggers. But I always try to get away from them, and that doesn't mean go around them. That means back off and let them have it, because I do not like to be around the log truck.
Those
They
logs
turn over.
Yeah, and two, I mean, I know they got them packed on their good, but I mean the way they're stacked, or some of them extend way beyond the back of the truck, and it's just a horrible feeling thinking that one of those logs might come off that
Scary,
truck.
very scary. So as I was approaching, we crossed the railroad track, and as I was approaching the intersection, I saw all these cars. There was a bus pulled over. Marshall, of course, you're going south. If you're going toward Texarkana, you're going north, and I was going south because I was going to Marshall. There was a bus pulled over, cars, and on both sides of the road before and after the red light. And then I turned to the left, and I saw this horrible, horrible crash. A log truck had turned over, and we learned that the logger had run the light. He hit a car or a van or SUV or something, had a young couple in it, and then I don't know how it all transpired, but he also hit an 18-wheeler, so there's 3 vehicles involved, and it killed a young man and young woman who worked at a restaurant in town. A lot of people knew them. I didn't know them, but everything everybody said was they were such hard workers, and probably, my guess in looking at the pictures, probably in their 20s. And
I'm going to be looking at the news today. When you pull out at my house there is glass.
I mentioned that to Carla.
Did you see that
Yes.
yesterday?
Yeah.
Just glass all over.
So somebody hit
in
something.
the median and on my side coming out of my road.
I was talking to AT&T the other day, and we know we had a couple of glitches and freezing, and it was doing that with her on the phone. She said the service was just, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the heat. I don't know if it's because the kids are out of school and everybody's gaming. I don't know.
One the amount that it takes to do a live stream is way more than just regularly watching.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yes,
Okay.
and I'm almost sure that when they come back and watch it not live, that it will not be blurry.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a good
Well, that's good.
bit of
Good
information.
to know. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to stir this here, and it's not melted. And I'll tell you what you need to do if it's not, and if it's like this. I'm going to stick it back in the microwave.
That's what I have to do too.
And you can see it's real hard. So our thoughts and prayers go out to families of both of those young
Yes,
people
absolutely.
who lost their lives.
It's so sad.
They originally said there was a child in the car, and nobody has said anything about the little child. So I don't know if they just knew this couple had a child or not, but I haven't heard anything about that. And then my friends that I'm gonna do this like 32 seconds. Whoops, I can't.
How much you
I
got? 5 minutes?
I gotta clear this, yeah.
Okay, well, I'll remember 5
Okay.
minutes. It's a little over 5 minutes, but
The young guys or the gentleman that work in our yard, his sister passed away. Their sister passed away last night, and I think my understanding was that she was in a nursing home, but that it was unexpected. So our thoughts and prayers going out to them also. So that's 3 people, you know, just in a matter of 2 days that have lost their lives. That I didn't know personally that was in this community. And I really wanted to go over to Jefferson last night. They had a big celebration over there, 4th of July.
Did they do fireworks there?
Yes, they have a big.
We watched them in Mineola.
Did you?
And it was really sweet. Just a small town. Everybody comes out. Kids. It's people watching paradise.
Yeah. I love to watch fireworks, and the kids, my 2 grandsons, and Chuck and Linda had a good time last night. I videoed it, but I know now that I was too close to the fireworks to actually get the good burst. And the ones that I did Christmas, I stood on my porch and videoed it, and it was a lot better. So the next time we do fireworks, I will stand on my porch so I don't have to hold the camera. I was holding that camera on the top of my head to get, and it still, I didn't get the good effect that I really wanted y'all to see.
And that's tiresome doing
Yeah,
that, too.
it was,
It's
but
very
it's okay. I enjoyed it. It was late. Well, it was like for 10, which was late for me. But we had a good time, and the boys enjoyed it so much.
Sure did.
Nathan and Braden don't get to be together a lot because Nathan works, and of course Braden stays with his dad, so they don't get to visit a lot, and they really had a good time.
I could tell.
Matter of fact, Nathan spent the night with me last night too.
Cool.
Nice.
And so I carried him back home this morning.
And I got
on
him
my
to
way.
smile in a picture.
And he was, he's the oldest son, grandson, but he's he's really reserved. And he doesn't say a lot. You can't hardly get him to a conversation started. And he's gradually getting a little bit better. And I just want to see him do that because he needs to express his feelings and be able to communicate.
Yeah.
And so I'm just really was happy to see him have a good time last night.
I know it meant a lot to Linda too. to
Yeah,
have her
it
boys
did.
there.
It did. Linda didn't get much sleep last night, but got to visit and have a good time.
Okay, so I put this in the microwave 39 seconds for 2 times, and then the 3rd time I left it in there just probably about 20 seconds. And I'm just going to beat this to kind of smooth this out in the pot.
I was looking about 4 minutes. I imagine it'd be 4 minutes. We're like about 4 minutes with the cupcakes being ready. Let me see if anybody's asking any questions.
Good.
Yeah. Thank you for your prayers for those people who lost, the family who lost their loved ones. Yeah, the 2 grandsons that I was telling you that was doing the fireworks last night, that's little Linda's 2 children. She had 2 boys. And like I've told y'all before, I have 2 girls, and the oldest girl had 4 girls, and she wanted a little boy so bad. She's blessed with how many grandsons? Carla, how many grandsons do you have?
I have 8 now.
8.
Well, 10 counting Scott's.
Yeah. So Carla's got some grandsons now, but she only had 4 girls.
10 little Indian boys.
Silly Carla. And then when Linda got married, she's a younger child, so when she got married, she had 2 boys, and she wanted a little girl. But you know, the Lord knows what you need.
Sure
you know?
does.
So
Them boys smell funny.
Linda's at you.
So I kind of used the beater a little bit to kind of smooth that out. I'm not going to set that glass container in the refrigerator. If you do, you're going to get, it's going to break. So you don't want to set it in a place where there's cold air blowing on it because it'll break. I'll transfer that to another bowl. But that was just strictly to show y'all. This is what I've already got done here. And this is the same thing that's over there. It's just whipped. And this is whipped chocolate ganache.
Chocolate, yeah. White chocolate.
So, and now, I'm pretty sure that I have said this before, but the ratio from white chocolate and your heavy whipping cream is different than the ratio of dark chocolate. So don't use this with dark chocolate and send us a message and say it didn't work. It won't work because this is the recipe for white chocolate. You remember that time in Albuquerque? And I've told this before, but I brought some Sandies to work. This was my second job. I got off of working at the Marriott and I went to this call answering service that I worked night shift on, and I carried some Sandies with me, and they just loved them. And this one lady, she wanted the recipe, so I gave her the recipe. And the next time I saw her, which was a few days after then, she said, I don't know what kind of recipe you gave me, but it didn't work. And I said, well, what did you do? And she said, well, I melted the butter. And she said, I kept adding flour. And I said, well, it wasn't going to never work if you melted the butter. It said soften. Right. And she thought because it was softened, it'd be better if it was melted. But that's not how it works when you're cooking. You have to do what it says. Yeah. I thought about that many times over the years.
I remember when I learned that myself. Yeah, I was young, but I remember the time I did that.
You learned from your mistakes.
I learned that a long time ago.
Okay, so I'm going to just take a look at these real quick and see how I think they are doing, because I don't want to overbake them. Don't they look pretty?
Ooh, they look pretty.
These are done. Mm-hmm. Well, let's say they're done. Maybe another minute or so.
Okay.
They're almost done. You see the little dome, the little rise that we got on them?
Yes.
And that's because, number one, we staggered these look done.
Right.
Aren't they beautiful?
Yeah, they are. I love blueberry muffins.
And because the batter is thicker, and you can put a little bit more in them. I just love those blueberries bursting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're so pretty. And they got a cool, I'm going to leave that in there just another
Well, you had that one that's a little bit bigger.
A little bit bigger. So there's one more thing to this besides the buttercream. And these are going to have to, they're going to have to cool. We can't put the buttercream. You cannot frost a cupcake or a cake or a muffin. And normally you don't frost muffins, but I am dressing these up. Okay. So you have to let it cool completely. If you don't, you're going to have buttercream that's going to melt. But this is one more thing here that I did that I want to show y'all. I did a blueberry reduction, and this is probably about 3/4 a cup of fresh blueberries. I did probably about 3 tablespoons of water. You don't want much water, just a very little bit to get it started. And I put about 2 tablespoons of sugar and just a tiny dash of salt. You let it come to a boil, and you kind of let it cook down. You let it reduce, and let it cool. And then you got this luscious looking, don't that look good?
That looks delicious.
And we're going to put some of these on top and drizzle a little bit of this reduction on top of the buttercream. So once these get cool, then we can come back and do a little short video and
show them the finished product.
Finish decorating them and put this on there. And I really wish, and this has got about a teaspoon of lemon juice in it too. So it's got a little bit of lemon in it. And let's see here. If you want to put simple syrup on them, you can always use simple syrup. I have some in the refrigerator.
I think the blueberries probably would make it moist, though. Don't you think?
I don't plan to put simple syrup on these because I'm doing the buttercream and the chocolate ganache, and I may do some with the whipped ganache, and I may do some with the buttercream, and I may do some with both. It's just going to depend on how I feel when I'm doing it. So and turn the oven off. And then
Did you get the little ones out?
no, I didn't. Thank you, Mary. I think these should be ready, so I can take these out now. So this made, what was it? 16?
Well, that's
14,
14,
it made 16.
12, yeah, 4.
So this recipe made 16. And this is pretty much stuff that most people would have in their pantry. You might have to pick up a lemon if you don't keep lemons in your house. You can use lemon juice, but I always prefer fresh to the juice if I have it.
Yeah.
And if you don't, and you got lemon juice, we'll use that. The other thing is, I realize not everyone keeps baking supplies like Mary and I do. But if you don't, and you want to make this buttercream or make this whipped chocolate ganache, white chocolate ganache, then you would pick up your whipped cream and your white chocolate. And you can use the bars. You can use another brand. If you use the bars, it's going to cost you more money because, you can get a pack of chips cheaper than you can the bars.
You catch them on sale a lot of times. That's when I buy mine.
I buy them after
whether I need them
Christmas.
or not,
Yeah.
I buy them when they're on sale.
I've got a whole sack in the freezer. And I noticed the other day when I was in Walmart, there was some that was marked down too. So, as long as you keep it in the freezer, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fresh. So we need to do the birthday drawing. I guess
Yes.
we can move over here. And I'm going to put these cupcakes in there so they'll cool a little bit faster.
They sure do smell good.
Don't they smell
And
good?
oh
Yeah.
my goodness, looks so pretty.
I just love those blueberries where they
Did you-
burst.
Okay. All right. We'll come over here and sit down. The birthday drawing for June. What we do, if some of you that may be watching that doesn't know, each month we give away an apron, whether it's a white one or a pink one. If you do not specify, we give you a pink one. So you send in your birthday at the end of each month, if your birthday is that month. So like in June, and today is the 5th of July, but we're giving an apron away for June. And that's June birthdays.
Good.
So and you text your name, address, and if you have preference on the apron, to our business number, and we'll give you that number the last week of the month because we don't want you to text us until the end of July. So then we'll have the drawing for the July apron in the first week of August. All right, now the name.
Oh, did we need to get it?
Let me get it.
Thank you, Mary, for doing that.
The name for the June birthday apron was Sharon Nichols in Eastview, Kentucky.
Oh, somebody from Kentucky.
So congratulations, Sharon. She said her birthday was June the 2nd. So congratulations, and we'll get that apron in the mail to you.
And to all the people that have birthdays in June, and this is something that I have not mentioned that I want to, and I meant to the other day, and I didn't, and it just, a week goes by and 2 weeks, and before you know it, it's too late to mention it. But I wanted to do a special thank you to my sweet Carla. She made a special trip to bring Mike a birthday present and balloons, and the balloons are still pretty. They're still pretty. 3 balloons. And she didn't stay long, but she just came just to give him his birthday and to say hi. And I appreciated that so much. And for the ones who sent birthday cards to Mike, thank you for that also, and you know who you are. And Mike doesn't like to make a fuss over himself, and he doesn't ever want me putting anything online about him. Y'all know how he is. So I didn't put anything on there, although many of you, Mary and a lot of Carla and her kids, and a lot of y'all did mention his birthday, and I appreciate that. I didn't want y'all to think that I ignored it. It's just he threatens me, not threaten, but he's always told me not to. And the other thing that I wanted to mention, and I haven't even told you this, but he lost his sister back at the first of the year, his oldest sister. Mm-hmm. Well, his it was Janet, Kathy, and Mike. Mike's the 3rd oldest child. And Kathy had a pacemaker put in last week.
Oh, goodness.
His other sister, yes.
Oh, no.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
I didn't know it. We read it on Facebook, but we certainly are praying for her, and I know that y'all will too. Everyone that prays that everything goes okay. She's already had the procedure done, but it was just it's kind of scary because there's several people in his family. 2 of them's already passed that had heart trouble.
My goodness.
So anyway, I wanted to mention that. And Kathy, if you're watching, we love you and we're praying for you, and hope that whatever that was supposed to correct, that it does correct that, and that you are around a long time, because she's got a new great grandbaby.
Is that
A little
right?
boy.
Oh.
He's so cute. A little bit younger than yours, Carla.
Yes.
But he's just a doll. And
Did you see those pictures?
yeah, those pictures
Of,
of
the
Hunter
2
and
babies?
Ashton.
Oh, my
You'll have to
goodness.
show them.
I want to. Do you care?
Certainly go closer up to the camera.
Okay.
Carla was so cute today.
I don't know if we can do this. Is that not the cutest little boys you ever seen?
That's Carla's. That's Carla's 2 grandsons that was born back.
This one is Hunter Aaron, and this one is Ashton Charlie.
And they were born like what? How many
3 weeks apart, I
3
think.
weeks apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They're precious. That little Hunter, that little
He's
boy's
wanting
going
to
to be
talk.
big, and he's trying to talk.
He is.
Yeah.
he looks so much.
And
like
Shelley may be
Henry.
coming to see me next
Right.
weekend and bringing all her youngins. I'm so
Right.
excited.
Oh, I know.
And Ashton has the funniest expressions.
He
I
does.
love that
He does.
expression on his face.
We've got a little video clip of all the pictures of her taking expressions of
Wow.
him, and then we're just making comments of what he would be saying with he can
With his
talk.
expression.
So funny.
Oh, I've seen Hunter because I was up there right after he was
Yeah.
born. I haven't got to see Ashton yet, but she's coming to see me too, in July. She's coming to see me,
Okay.
and so I'll get to see the baby. So I'm excited about that.
So I should look on the calendar and ask you off air, but next week.
Because
I'm
you're
cooking-
leaving next week.
Yeah,
right?
I'm cooking on Monday here, right, by myself,
Yeah, I think so.
and then Tuesday at your house. A week from today, I'll be
Yeah.
on a plane to
Yeah.
Ireland.
Yeah.
So
That's so exciting.
I know. I have
Aren't you
no idea.
giddy?
I'm being very optimistic that I'm going to get to go live over there, and it's 6 hours, so I hope none of y'all don't throw darts at me if y'all get a notification in the middle of the night, because the 6-hour time difference is really,
Yeah.
it's
I
going to take
told
some
her-
getting used to.
I told her, I said, you're going to have to let me know because I don't want to be videoing when she's videoing. So
Well, Monday's the only day that it would
Okay.
it would conflict unless you do some extra videos.
Okay.
And if you do, then you would need
find
to let
out.
me know.
Yeah, I
So anyway, I'm planning on journaling, video journaling. I've worked a little bit more on my GoPro yesterday. That thing shouldn't be complicated, but I'm trying to learn how to use it before I go. And so my plan is when we're out making stops that are away from town, I'm going to use the GoPro and take videos. When we're in town, I'm going to use my phone and try to go live.
Okay.
Because I think some of the stops have very limited time on this tour that I'm taking, and I think it'll be too hard trying to change over devices.
Yeah.
So I figured, if I don't even try it when we're out in the middle of nowhere on a
Yeah.
cliff somewhere,
Yeah.
then I can use the GoPro and then download it, and then when I'm in the town, do the other. But if everything goes well, I'm going to get as many clips as I can and go live as much as I can, and I guarantee you that I will have probably more pictures than anybody's going to want to see.
I want to
picture
see all
nut
of them.
anyway. So I'm very excited about it, and hopefully.
Yeah, she likes to take pictures. She's always the one in the family that does the pictures every time we get together. She's the one that
love
always
pictures.
gets the pictures.
We
for
didn't have
everybody.
that many pictures when we were growing
No,
up.
we didn't.
And I've always been fascinated, and I'm not a photographer by no means, but it's some of these devices, they're pretty fail proof. Now, the GoPro, hopefully, once I learn it, I'll be able to take some decent videos and everything. And you're going to get one too.
Yeah, I'm getting me one
So
too.
we'll be able to.
I got to learn how to use it.
We've learned a little. I'm learning a little each
They're
day.
fantastic. Everything that I've read about them, you're gonna when you learn the ins and outs and how to do all the things it can do. It's amazing. Little item.
So I'll be doing as much as I can, and I don't know that we have anything planned over the weekend, except I will get back on to
show the cupcakes.
Yes, do the cupcakes and fix those.
Okay.
So it'll be a little bit later on this afternoon when I do that, and then I guess unless something is going to happen over the weekend, I'll be back on
You'll be
Monday.
back Monday, right?
To cook, and I won't be making muffins Monday. in case y'all are wondering, I'm going to be doing something else Monday. So, our electricity went off again yesterday for a couple of hours, and I just started getting stuff put back in the freezer, and I'm like, this cannot be happening after all we went through. And I'm not saying it was just us; it was so many people that did this. Our local judge in town, posted a picture of his refrigerator, and all of that in it was water. He said, we lost everything too.
I know it. I thrown away a bunch of things out of my refrigerator.
Yeah.
My freezer, it was okay. It was only off one day.
Yeah.
And it never did
Yeah.
hurt and shut off the generator.
I said, look on the bright side. We've all got clean, sparkling, clean refrigerators and freezers.
Right?
They may be empty, but they're clean. At least.
Well, mine's full because of yesterday. I got so much food left.
Oh my goodness.
But I was telling Nathan this morning, I tried to get him to take some of them desserts home with him, and he's not really a
He's
dessert
not a
person.
dessert person, is he? I didn't
So
know
I
he
said,
was.
well, that's okay. We have church tonight. I'm going to be putting them in containers and taking it to them.
So thank y'all for joining us.
Yes.
I'm going to put that ganache in another bowl and get it in the refrigerator to cool. I'll be using that on something. I don't know what, but I'll be using it on something so it doesn't go to waste. And hope y'all will join me back again after a while. I guess y'all will probably be gone.
Yeah, well, I've got to
But,
get back. Lady's got to put a car in the shop.
Oh, that's right. She's having car trouble.
So I'm going to let her use my car, wash her cars in the shop.
Okay. Well, thanks again. Everyone stay safe, stay cool. Be sure to be kind to people, and always count your blessings.
We love y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.